Hello. Hello, my name is Johanna Roach, and I'm excited to have you join me here this evening. I'm just waiting for my guest, Jenn Britton from Potentials Realized. She will be on air with me just a few minutes, but I just want to do just sort of a background chat here as we start and move on forward. So if you could just bear with us, we'll be going forward in approximately 2 minutes. I just want to reiterate for everyone, if you have a question during our broadcast, what you can do is put in the live chat box on the right hand of the screen, right over in here. And at that time, we will go, both Jenn and I would be more than happy to answer any of your questions. So that's just my first preamble. If you want to bear with me, I will be doing that same preamble in a few minutes because I've started a little bit early, but another 2 minutes on the half hour, we will be going live of how to set goal setting strategies to make sure you rock 2015 for you and your business. So it's going to be great. So for all of those other people that have been watching me through my Hangouts talking about making your life a grande, I am here. I'm helping small business owners. I'm on a mission to make your sales process and making your business run smoother, more effectively, with less time and less effort to make sure that you get the profit and the exhilaration of owning your own business excited to have you on board here today, and I'm waiting for Jenn to come. So, and if you have any questions, please leave them below. Okay. It is now 7:30, so we're going to move onward and upward. I'm sure that my guest, Jenn Britton, will be joining me very shortly. As I mentioned before, I'm so excited to have you on board tonight. We really want to work about goal setting strategies to make sure your 2015 becomes the year and your year by making sure that you have your goals set out well in advance and they're already forward. So I mentioned earlier, throughout this session, it's going to be hot, fast, and furious. Excuse me. Excuse me, please. If you have any questions or would like to have any questions or problems about what things that you face for setting up your goals, and particularly have issues with setting those goals for your sales for your business, please feel free to put your questions on the chat box over in the right hand corner. So I hear someone else is chiming in. Okay, just give me 1 sec. Give my for this live event so that she's having trouble. So just 1 second. I will insert it for her, and hopefully Jenn can join me in a few minutes. As you know, sometimes technology works really, really good, and other times it's not as happy as I want it to be. Particularly this past week, we're working on this event.
Hey, Johanna, can you hear me now?
Great platform. I can hear you perfectly. Jenn is on the line with us tonight. I was just giving a preamble about if anybody has any questions, please make sure that they add the comments in the comment tracker on the right for setting your goals. If there's some kind of hurdles that you might have with setting your goals. Also, I'm really good at helping people setting their sales goals and making sure that they follow through we're going to put that over on the right-hand side. So I'm going to jump right in now, and I'm going to introduce Jenn. Jenn Britton is the owner of Potentials Realized. She does. The main reason is that she is actually my mentor, and so for me to help work towards my goal of becoming a certified coach through the ICF. And Jenn is also known worldwide as the coach's coach, so that's another really good reason why I've aligned myself with Jenn. She's great to work with. She does virtual, online group coaching, and also does deals with clients with in the corporate world. She's written 2 books, one-on-one group coaching and effective group coaching. And afterwards, I'm going to ask Jenn if she could just put. Still there?
I'm still here, and I don't think my connection is too great. So, what should I put in the chat box there, Johanna?
The links to purchase your 2 books on one-to-one coaching and effective group coaching. If you could put that in the chat box, that would be great.
Well,
so that'd be awesome. And then
right now, and as you might not know, I'm actually in a hotel tonight. I'm delivering training early in the morning. So we may have a bit of a spotty connection because I'm not in my office. Can you hear me okay, Johanna?
I can hear you absolutely perfectly. So one of the things that I love about these Google Hangouts, Jenn, is that they're fast and furious, and we want to make sure that we give the golden nuggets for people that are watching us here on the Hangout. And we want to really dive in because this whole Hangout is all about goal setting, strategies and tips for you personally and also for in your business, and in making sure that your 2015 year is a total rock star, and every day that you go to work, you make it a grande. So what we want to do right now is we're going to dive deep and now into about goal setting, and both Jenn and I each have our own process for setting goals. So first of all, I would like to know, Jenn, can you explain your process, your goals for your business or also with your clients?
So I think goal setting is absolutely critical as we move into the end of October. It's a great opportunity to start thinking about 2015. I always say, we should do some deep planning at least once every quarter. And on a Sunday night like this, hopefully we're just picking up maybe we journal, maybe we have a calendar, maybe it's on a computer, some, even some audio notes around what's our focus for the week. So I use a lot of SMART goals, but I actually make them SMART goals. So our goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time-bound, and exciting. If they're not exciting to us, what's going to happen? We're not going to get them done. So we really want to make sure that our goals that we set are stretch goals as business owners, and also there's something that gets our juices running. So certainly as business owners, here we are, Johanna and I, it's a Sunday night. This isn't quite work, but yet it is part of our work. Business doesn't turn off. So hopefully we're enjoying everything we do. Now, in my former world of work, I started my own business 10 years ago, but before that, I did a lot in the realm of project and program management. So one of the adages we always say in project management is 10 minutes of planning can save you up to an hour of unfocused effort. So think about your week this week. How clear are you on your immediate goals for what you're going to get done, let alone for the quarter or for the next 15 months? I'd really challenge you tonight before you actually click off or first thing in the morning to sit down and spend 10 minutes just making a list of everything that comes to your mind around what you want to get done. In that 10 minutes, also circle the things that are definite priorities, things that you want to get done this week, like they're a must-do no matter what. And also identify the ones that, if you have time, they would be great to do. So sometimes there's the need to do versus the nice to do. I think it's important to have in our plans both of those, because if we're just doing the immediate, and if we're just looking at that sort of like next day, we're losing sight of the big picture. And so it is important, maybe on a weekly basis or even a monthly basis, to go back to what's your vision. And I'm sure later in our quick hangout tonight, we'll talk about how some people maybe use a vision board, others maybe journaling, but having something that is visual that will reconnect you quickly to what's important, always very important.
Okay, it looks, oh, there we go. I lost you a little bit. So what I'm going to do as well, Jen, I'm just going to sort of say what I do when I'm looking at my goal setting overall. I have a sort of a step-by-step process that I implement to make sure that I cover all of the bases. So one of the first key things I do is identify those goals. And then I write them down. And it could be like in a big list or make pictures or and this sort of stuff. The next thing I do is I write the obstacles that's going to be involved with setting those goals. So for example, one of my goals might be for the first quarter of January is to contact 10 new leads. But one of those leads that I really don't like to pick up the phone and ask for that. So what are those things that are going to put me in, stop me from achieving those goals? And then kind of identifying, you know, what are the things I can do to check them off and say, hey, those aren't so bad after all, and I can manage to do that. So that's one of my obstacles. I identify my obstacles. Then the next thing I do is I prioritize my goals. So which ones do I have to do immediately, and which ones can be done a little bit different? So once I have that, I put them all into place, and then I develop an action plan. So I know which one my priorities are, so I could set them across a certain pace. And then it gives me a roadmap or an action plan to move forward. And sort of kind of a little bit what you were mentioning before is like on a weekly-to-week basis, this action plan or roadmap that you can put for yourself, you can actually go back and review it and check on it. And the other most important thing that I find a lot of people don't do is they don't share their goals with anyone. They keep it internalized. So it's not my big goal for coming in 2015 is to host a cruise amongst entrepreneurs. But if I don't tell anybody that that's one of my goals, it's been a proven evidence has shown is that if you don't share those goals, it's really difficult to make those goals a reality. And the other thing is, no matter what goal that you set, you've really got to make sure that you continuously act on them. They can be a great sheet of paper, great little mind map and everything, but then they are just that. They're just written out. And most importantly as well is to also look at your success and to celebrate those and to put little bonuses at the end of it. For example, as I mentioned earlier, if you had a call, you don't really want to do any cold calling or you don't really want to do any marketing, but after you've done that and you've called so many people, you need to put some kind of a check mark or a celebratory reward for yourself. I love chocolate. I think other people might have something different to do. So I'm just wondering whether or not that's something that you also find very beneficial, Jen.
Absolutely. I think we are running so quickly that we fail to actually stop and celebrate and notice what we've done. So great practice, you know, maybe it's a Sunday night, maybe it's a Friday afternoon, but making sure that you do pause and notice what you've achieved on the big list and also the small list. And to take time off, you know, as business owners, if you are a business owner or if you're a busy team leader, you need to stop every once in a while to take stock of what you've actually done. So celebration is so critical. And I think that sort of takes me into the train I wanted us to look at, you know, how do you keep these things in front of you? So we talked a little bit in our last hangout, which I know didn't probably get recorded, but we talked about vision boards and then also, you know, also keeping them really alive in front of you, which is maybe mind mapping. So should I talk a little bit about mind mapping, which is one of the processes I use, Johanna?
Tool in itself.
And I think we're suffering from an interesting internet connection tonight. Can you hear me now?
Absolutely. That's the beautiful thing. Still back and we're good, Jen.
What I thought I'd do, I brought a pen. My markers are packed in my suitcase, but one of the tools I really like to use is a mind map. And all you really need is just a piece of paper and putting on one page just all of your ideas. So if you have a piece of paper right now, grab it All you need is a pen, and I'd like you to draw a circle in the middle of the page. Okay, so a circle in the middle of the page, and in that circle, I'd like you to write my biggest goals for 2015. Okay, so my biggest goals for 2015. Do that right now. And as we're on the phone, I want you to actually start creating your own mind map. So what we're going to do is imagine we have rays of the sun. You can't see it too well, but maybe there. Imagine that you have different arms reaching out of that circle. And I'd like you just to take a moment and to write down those immediate or those biggest goals that you have for yourself for 2015. Maybe it's to increase your sales by 200%. Maybe it's to reach $1 million worth of revenue. Whatever those goals are, pick an arm, just like here, and write each one of those goals down. So let's just pick doubling my revenue by 200%. And for you, it might be a different goal, but what we're going to do now is actually start to break this down into different areas. So I'd like you to pick one of those goals, and I'd like you to brainstorm now 3 to 4 possible ways you might be able to achieve it. Okay? So I just picked the idea of double my revenue by 200%. Maybe that means blogging more frequently. I've been a blogger for many years. Maybe it's upping my ante on how frequently I blog. Maybe it's doing some of those calls that you were just talking about, Johanna. Setting aside every week 15 or 30 minutes, because I don't do calls, but setting aside some time to do some cold calling. And another idea that's just popping into mind tonight, because I was doing a long drive to get here, maybe I explore some billboard ads. It would be sort of fun to do some billboard ads on some of the in-person programs I run around retreats. I do them in a certain area. I've never had any sort of marketing in that geographic area, yet I know there are millions of cars that go by there every summer. So that's, it might sound a little out there, but this is a plan. And in planning and brainstorming, we want to get everything out on the table. There's more than enough time to start sorting through, can I do this? Is this realistic? The great thing about a mind map is in a few minutes, like 10 to 15 minutes is all you need to start really fleshing out all your business ideas. So we started doing that tonight. Maybe after you hang up this hangout, continue that process and really start looking at what is possible for you in 2015. So over to you, Johanna. What do you think about mind mapping tonight, or what would you suggest?
I absolutely love it. And I just have a tip for people that actually use the mind map is don't just let the ideas flow. It's not like, for example, my goal is to make $500,000 this year, and then you get all wrapped up about how you're going to spend that $500. It's all really about really quickly bursts of energy of getting those ideas across. And the more creativity and you're allowing your mind to really feel what you really, really want is going to help you immensely with creating your mind map. And I also believe it also helps you achieve your goals. So it's a great tool. I use it on a regular basis. Even if I'm going to have a dinner party, I have no idea what I'm going to cook. It's just use just a piece of paper and make a circle and make star things off the side. And there's also some different online tools as well. And once this hangout is over, I will put it in the chat box, and you can have some power links and resources that you can access directly. So my next question is we're going to look a little bit more about, okay, I've got my goals all done. That's great. I've got my map. So my question is how important is it for you to look at those goals on a quarterly basis? And what are the things, if you have a particular secret that you have to making sure that you're staying on track for your goals within that quarter? Okay, so it's kind of a two-pronged question.
Yeah, so I'm hearing the first one is really, how do you keep them visible? And the second one is, how do you prioritize them? So again, the beauty of something like a mind map is it's one page. And as Johanna will probably share with you, there are so many great online resources. Last week, it's too bad, just across the hotel room, I picked up a little 7-inch tablet. I've been using a bigger one, but I picked up a little tablet last week for like $60. For years, I've been doing mind mapping using a couple of apps. so if you are a mobile person, you can have that, just put it on your phone, put it on your tablet. Again, scheduling, I think, is key. If we don't build this into our habits, we're not going to do it. So you'll want to really think about what's the structure, what's the process that works for you. Some people are more audio in nature. Like, we are just bombarded by marketing, by important things all day long. So what is something that's going to stand out in the sea of alerts that's going to remind you, whether it's weekly, daily, monthly, to actually dedicate some time to it? And I think this is where we want to connect with what's really important. So if your goal is, as Johanna said, to make, $500,000 or $1 million during the next year, how do you keep that alive? And I think it's important there to think about the why. Why is this important? If we're just aiming towards a goal, it's not, it has no resonance. So what is so important about achieving that goal for you? Is it about creating a lifestyle? Is it about being able to provide certain things to your family? What's the why behind it? And maybe one of the books you put out, Johanna, is Simon Sinek's book about, it starts with a why, which is a great quick read, business read around prioritization and connecting with your why. So the tip I'd like to offer tonight, it's not always my secret because it's not my secret, but it's just really connecting with what's really important. And often that's the, what's the why here? What is going to drive me in a hopefully a fun and easy way to get this business running, to get these things checked off? How about you? What's your secret sauce around prioritizing?
Well, my secret sauce around prioritizing is when I actually lay out my goals in the first place, I always have the why behind it. That's a number one tip about keeping it. Not only do I do that, but the other thing I do for helping making sure keeping track of my goals, I have a success journal that I write. And some people call it a success or gratitude journal that I keep beside my bed, and every night I write what type of success that I have within my day. So that might be, for example, if I'm working on my goals, as I mentioned, 2 potential inside out, I write that part as in my success journal every single day. So it just also reaffirms that I'm moving with positive action and positive motion, as opposed to the thought when you go to sleep at night, well, oh my God, I didn't do this today, I didn't do that today, I didn't do this today, I didn't do this. Oh, my list is so big. And then sometimes that overwhelm is so over the top. To get away from that and making sure my secret is for my goals is that success journal itself, or gratitude journal that I keep. So. And the other thing is, as you mentioned before, I have a vision board. First thing I do when I look up after I've had my coffee, it's right in front of my desk. There's no getting around it. It's not something where I have to push aside. So then it's really quite a visual point around to working sure that I make sure that goal is coming forward. So, and I also really recommend as well, if you're struggling with studying with sometimes the use of a coach or doing a virtual retreat might be something really good, so you actually spend some time specifically on you and your business done. So what I've at sea on February the 6th, and Jenn is going to be joining me. And I just want to know, do you think in one of the workshops that we are going to be holding, Jenn is such a vital personal development opportunity, and also just in making sure that people stay on track. So.
Yeah, well, I think it's so critical we schedule that time. This February when Johanna and I and others hit the boat and really dedicate some time to our business. It's absolutely critical. We're often so busy running and doing in our business that we don't step back. And so really the Success at Sea is going to be an opportunity over multiple days, not just one day, not just 1 hour, but over multiple days to be investing in you planning, acquiring some skills for your toolbox as a business owner, and also having that accountability, which Johanna said, that's what coaching's all about. It's helping you be supported, whether you want your feet to the fire, whether you want to be like cheered on to do the work. It's about helping you be the best that you can and reminding you of those rules. So over the course of the cruise, we'll be doing multiple sort of mini workshops and a lot of planning work to support you throughout your process of being successful throughout 2015, and I would even assert into 2016. You know, we always want to be looking at least a year and a half down the road. Hopefully you have that 5 or 10 year vision that's going to be pulling you forward. But I don't want to assume that every business owner or every person listening to this tonight has those plans in place. It doesn't take a lot of time, but you do need to set aside some time to do that. So, as Johanna said, virtual retreats are great. Hiring a coach to do some work one-on-one, doing group coaching, as we're going to be doing in the Success at Sea, really a lot of fun and you know, good investment. It certainly pays off in dividends. As I started the call by saying, 10 minutes of planning saves you an hour of time, and I've seen that throughout my career. It's one of the only reasons why I can do what I can do, which is some days a lot. Writing and running a business and, you know, traveling and being a mom, you know, you've got to really leverage every moment. So certainly, I hope one thing that people will take away tonight is this idea of just dedicating 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day around what do you want to get done, what's most important on that list. And as you said, Johanna, maybe there's a tie-in to the gratitude journal, because what we have seen with brain-based science is that active actually reflection and also continued focus really does help us gain that momentum and accelerate results. So over to you to sort of wrap us up, because I'm just noticing our hangout's almost over.
Yes. So I want to thank you, Jenn, so very much for joining me tonight and talking about both yours and my goal strategy techniques and tips that we use. As I'm signing off, we will put below the link for Success at Sea if you want to join us. And just to reiterate, while you're on the ship, that when you're going to come back off that cruise, you're going to have a 12-month action plan designed specifically for your business. It's just not a cookie cutter thing. We're going to work with you one-on-one to make sure that's going to happen. And anything else that you might want to have any questions about goal setting, please feel free to reach out to Jenn or myself. We'd be happy to answer any questions posted in the chat discussion box after the Hangout goes live, goes off air. I want to thank you very much, Jenn, for joining me, and I hope that tomorrow, your training day, and everyone else is a Grande. Bye for now.
Have a good evening. Have a great week, everyone. Happy planning.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.